Good afternoon, everyone. It is Excel today for July 27th, 2022. Joe is here. He is
I
a
am.
B today. Unfortunately, it is a camera technical difficulty, so he is full on as a B today.
I am going to be a B today because my camera situation is not working, but I still wanted you to see my face. But I could still blink and stuff, so it's cool.
Yeah. Hello, Emre. Hello, Dare. Good to see you. Thanks for joining us. It's probably in the evening or morning, wherever you may be. Unless you're here on the West Coast, then it's the afternoon. Um, but yeah, it's as we promised. We're here every week. Today's Wednesday show. I think it's the first Wednesday. This might be the first Wednesday show we've ever done.
Wednesday. Yes, it is. It is the first Wednesday show ever.
Yeah, Wednesday afternoon for sure. Someone's gonna find out. No, this is your third Wednesday show, and I was
No, I think this is our first Wednesday show. Well, it's the first show I've ever doing a B avatar, so there's
yeah.
a first.
Oakville, Ontario. Oh, so from Canada, then I assume. Um, I used to be a Can-Ammer. I used to have dual citizenship up until I think it was 18. They sent me something about taxes or something like that, so I ended that one. Anyways, um, just give you guys some quick updates on the channel. You may have noticed we've increased the shorts to 2 a day. We are doing PowerPoint in the after, or we're doing PowerPoint, InDesign, or Photoshop in the afternoon. I know you guys also asked for coding shorts. I am working on that diligently. I think I have somebody lined up finally for that. So we shall see about getting those coding shorts coming to you guys soon. Just as far as what's currently being produced, we have some Tableau videos that are being produced. We have Outlook 2021 that's coming up soon, and then see we have all our shorts coming as well. So lots in production, lots being produced. There's also another program that these videos will probably most likely not show up on our YouTube channel as of now. They'll be exclusive to Learnit Anytime, our ad-free service. Let's see, we've got some hellos. Odian, hello
Hello,
from South
hello.
Africa. Oh yeah, nice. Eben, good to see you as well. Yeah, it's great to see everyone this afternoon or evening or morning, whatever it may
Yeah,
be.
this is
Yeah,
great. This is the first time I think we have
yeah,
so yeah, yeah. Like
a
I
mix
we
of
were we
morning
always get
people, afternoon.
nervous.
Yeah, we always do.
I'm
Well,
always like, are we gonna have a lot of people joining our live because we're always switching it up? But thank you so much for just being here and staying supportive. It really does help us to
yeah, it
deliver
does.
more content.
Yeah. And so mugs today, I only have my Dr. Doom water glass.
Oh,
Just what
that
I
is
take
so
water
cool.
out of. It's great. Yeah, Dr. Doom. Again, we're not not sponsored or anything like that, but got my Dr. Doom water glass there. Joe unfortunately can't show anything on camera because of his camera situation today. But hello, Mohammed. Hello, Bailey. Hello, Warren. Thank you all for joining us. And yeah, that's it on the channel side of things. We're chugging away. I'm going to be meeting about future live events, so I'll have an update for you guys later. And yeah, we're going to keep producing shorts and long form videos. And the other thing to keep an eye out for is our full course videos, which we're going to combine all our videos together and get those just one giant video, so you can just watch one video if that's how you like to do it. We'll have that coming soon. Hey, Sue, good to see you. Haven't seen you in a while here. From
How you
Sue,
doing?
Texas. And then lastly, I do have those Excel VBA 2019 videos. They're just about done. Those are going to be insta drop. So probably next week, you'll see those just magically appear on the site. As soon as they're done editing and we reviewed them and they're good to go, we're immediately going to upload them and have them show up right away. So those are something to keep an eye out for as well. LL Mercy, thank you for joining us this morning. So yeah, all right. I keep saying that's all the updates, and I keep saying more updates, but this time that's final updates for now, Joe. I'll let you take it away. I think I put the exercise files in the chat already, but I'll drop them again real quick for everyone. We are going to be doing pivot tables today, and just go ahead and open up that exercise file, and we'll be Joe. I'm going to let you take it from here,
All
Mr. B.
right, sounds good. I'm gonna turn my video off just so you don't have to see a B and you can see more of the actual screen. So yeah, once again, sorry about that. Next week you'll see my face again. Unless you all prefer the B, well then
Yeah,
it
we'll
could
put it
be
to a poll.
yeah,
You guys like
it
to
could be a
be
common thing if you
yeah.
want me to
No,
teach as a
I'm
voice.
starting that right now, man.
Don't hurt my feelings, everyone. Don't you like seeing my face? All right. Today I thought we would talk about power pivots because we have a lot of different showcasing of pivot tables on this channel, but power pivots takes it to a whole new level. It actually allows you to take more than one data set, combine it together through DAX expressions and relationships, and then you'll be able to actually create it into a pivot table. So I thought we could showcase that today. So with that said, let me show you my screen and let's get right into it.
All right. Waiting for your screen. All right. There we go. All right. Take it away.
Awesome. Okay, so the first thing that I want to do here is I want to go over and open up the exercise file, Power Pivots. And you're going to see here that we have three different data sets. We have this data set here that has the products and the price of each product. So I know the Aspen is going to be 21, the Bellin is going to be 22, and then Carlota is going to be 22.95. And then in our second data set, we simply have the sales reps and what region they're selling in. So Alan Ramos is in the Midwest, Andrew Myers in the West, and so on and so forth. But then after that, our third data set is going to be the actual factual data set, which means this is the incoming data every single day. For instance, Christy on August sold doublers, gave a 0.03 discount, and then gave 2 units sold. So what I want to do here is I want to be able to grab these two data sets over here, combine it with this one, and then turn it into a pivot table so that I don't have to worry about looking through three different pieces to actually create this pivot table. Now, the problem with this is that we're going to have to do some work because although you could select pivot table by inserting and then using a pivot table, and you can make sure to select here from data model, it's not going to work unless you create relationships first. A way around this, a lot of people will do some sort of lookup value and they'll click in and they'll be like, okay, what price range did they sell in? So I want to see Christie doublers, discount units, and then the price of the doublers. And then I also want to see where Christie's selling in. So I could use, for example, an XLOOKUP, which is great, but then I'm pretty much doing double the work. Instead of doing XLOOKUP, which would work well in this case, I want to instead go into Power Pivot and add these three data sets to my data model, and then create a relationship and then load it into a pivot table. Now, in order to do this, you might be saying, well, Joe, I don't have Power Pivot, and that's what you're going to need. So the first thing we're going to do here is we're going to go over to any of your, I don't mind which one, any of your tabs here and give it a right click. Now, once you right click on that tab, what you'll then do is go to customize the ribbon. Once you're there, what you'll then go to is add-ins. Now on the add-ins, you're going to want to select right when you're here on the manage, you're going to see this little drop down and you're going to want to give it a click. And you're going to select COM add-ins. Now, once you select the COM add-ins, you can click on the go, not OK. I know that's kind of confusing. You might want to click OK, but make sure you click on go once you change this to COM and click on go. You'll then see we have quite a few different add-ins. We have Streamer for Excel, Data Streamer, Power Maps, but the one that I'm really interested in is this one right here, Microsoft Power Pivot for Excel. I'm going to give that a click. And then I'm going to go over to OK. And now what I'll do is I'll have this Power Pivots tab, which I can go to. And you're going to see we have quite a few little things here. So the couple of things, we'll run through them real quick, is the first one is Manage. This is where I can actually go to the Power Pivot window. So once you add these to your Power Pivot menu, you'll then be able to get to it through clicking on Manage. If you click on it right now, nothing's going to be there because we haven't added any data to the data model, which brings me to this next button, which allows you to add any type of table to the data model. We also have FX features where we can create new measures. And I believe we've gone over measures before within Power BI. It's the same exact thing. So when you create a measure, it's calculating a full column going down. So if I wanted to create a measure about our total price range, I could create a measure called the sum of the price column, and it will select the entire column. The next thing are KPIs, which are key performance indicators. We can create different KPIs to take a further look at our data set. We're not going to really talk about this today, but just know that this is a really handy tool that we can utilize. What detect does is it actually detects auto relationships, and you'll see here it'll say it'll create the relationships automatically. You do have to have the same naming convention and the same data type to do this. So once again, this is something that I've brought up previously in other videos about Power BI when we created relationships there. But the first thing we're going to do is we're going to start to add in these tables over to our data model. Now, what I do recommend, this is just my opinion, I really think you should start doing that, is naming your tables. Because if you don't name your tables, it's just going to say table 1, 2, and 3, and you're really not going to know which table you're talking about. So if I go over to the Home tab here and I click on my table, you'll see right across we'll get something called Table Designs. Now, if you click away from the table, of course, that will go away because these are known as contextual tabs. So it's kind of like we're a construction worker. If we're working on the house, we need the tool belt. If we're on lunch break, we don't need the tool belt. So when I click into this table, I get my tools. When I click away from it, they're gone. So I'm going to click on this table and click on Table Design, and this is where you'll be able to name the table. Now, I have named the tables for all of you already, so if you're working off of this file, you're welcome. I just did that just to save us some time so I can show you the fun stuff. But you'll see here I named this table Price Table. This one is called Region Table, and then I named this one Fact Table. And like I said, this is really important because when we load it into the data model, you're going to want to make sure that you have them named. So the first thing you do is click into any of the tables here. I'll click into this first one, any cell, it doesn't matter. And I'll click Add to Data Model. And the first thing it's going to do is bring you to Power Pivot for Excel, which is once again an add-on or an extension of Excel. So no worries, it brings you to a new window. You're still living in Excel. So here's why I told you to name those tables. If you look at the bottom here, you'll see we have price table. If we didn't name that, it would have just said table 1, then the next one, table 2, table 3. So that's why I say it's super important. But we're not done yet. We have to actually go grab the rest of our tables. So to go back to Excel, you're going to see in the top left-hand corner, there's this little Excel icon, and you're going to give it a click. That's going to bring us back to the Excel interface. Now that we're back here, we're going to click anywhere in our second table, and once again, click on that Add to Data Model. And now we have our price table here and our region table. And they work very much like worksheets in Excel. You can switch between both tables by clicking on the tabs below. We'll then do our last one. So I'm going to go back to Excel. Remember, it's the top left-hand corner where you'll see Switch to Workbook. And I'm going to click into my fact table. And once I'm in my fact table, I'm going to go to Add to Data Model. And there we go. We now have our fact table, we have our region table, our price table. Now we still can't do anything within pivot tables because we need to make sure that we have everything together. All right. So what that means is that we're going to click into diagram view so we can start to create some relationships between the data. So the first thing I'm going to do is switch from data view to diagram view. And you can find that once again in the home tab. You can find that over by the view command group, and you're going to click on diagram view. Now I'm going to give that a click. And you're going to see here we have our price table where we can click and drag it around. We have our region table, and we have our facts table. And we need to figure out what is the common relationship between all of these different tables. So just looking at this from the price table to the fact table, I'm taking a look and I'm thinking, well, the one thing that really comes together is right here. In this table, we have products and price. And in this table, we only have products. So I know the relationship between these two is going to be products to product. And a way to create that relationship is just to simply click on products and click and drag all the way to product. And now it's going to create what's known as a one-to-many relationship. Now, a lot of people ask me, what's that mean? Well, whenever you see an asterisk, that means it's many. And whenever you see a 1, that means it's one occurrence. So for instance, let's say that this list had the products in them, but they only have product 1, product 2, product 3, and so on and so forth. And then over here, maybe our sales rep sold product 1, then they sold product 1 again, then they sold product 2, then they might have sold product 1 again, and then another product 2, and then a product 3. So what's happening is there's only one occurrence on our pricing table because there's only one of each unique value. But here there's many of them. See how we have product 1 listed 3 times? So that's why it's a one-to-many relationship. Now, with that said, now that we've created this relationship, the next thing we're going to want to do is create a relationship between the fact table and the region table. And we're going to have some fun here today. And I usually don't do this, but I want to make this a lot more interactive. Let me know in the chat box, and it's okay if you don't know the answer. Let me know in the chat box, what is the relationship you think between the fact table and the region table? Take a moment and think about that. What do you think the relationship? If this one was product to product, what is the common source between this table and this table? And let me know in the comments below. But with that said, the relationship that I would see is sales rep and sales rep. We don't have region over here, so there's no relationship. So the first thing I'm going to do is grab sales rep to sales rep. And I see a couple of people are responding. You are exactly right. It is sales rep. And there we go again with that one-to-many relationship. So great job, everyone who said sales rep. Now we have our relationships between the region, the price, and the fact table. So now what we're going to do is we're going to switch this back over to a data view so that we can start using DAX expressions, just like in Power BI, to write out and make a relationship. So I'm going to once again go to the Home tab. We're going to go over to the View command group, and we're going to select Data View. Once we do that, I can then switch back over here. I'm going to want to put everything on my fact table because this is where all the facts are. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a column. Now to add a column in this Power Pivot for Excel interface, you have to use DAX expressions. DAX is Data Analysis Expressions. I'm going to click on Add Column. And once I do this, I'm going to start off by doing equals. And you can use a DAX expression called related table or related relationship or related. And the one we're going to use today is going to be related because we're actually taking the values, not an entire table. We're taking a value from another table and we're putting it here. So I'm going to create the related DAX expression. And once you have that selected, you're going to press Tab on your keyboard. And now it's going to ask me, well, Joe, what do you want? And I just simply want the price from the price table. So you'll see here it says, do you want the price table price? And I'm saying yes. I'll double click that, close my parentheses, and press enter. And instantly, it takes a look over here at the doublers, and it says, oh, that's $79.95. Sunshine, $19.95. Crested, $25. So it's working very similar to if we use the lookup value, like VLOOKUP or XLOOKUP. The last thing I want to do here is just double click and, well, change the name of this column to price. And there we go. And we're going to do that one more time for this next column. We're going to want the region. So once again, we'll do equals. We'll use related DAX expression. And we're going to choose what we want, which is the region. Remember, it always is going to, just like in Power BI, reference the table name first and then the column name. So we do want the column region. So I'll double click that, close the parentheses, press enter. And just like that, we now have the regions that everyone's selling in. Christie is in West. I'll then just double click again, rename this region. And now that we have everything together, we have all of our facts on this fact table. What we can now do is go over to the Home tab. And inside of this Home tab, we'll go over to the Pivot Table command group, and we can, right from here, create a pivot table. And I'll click on Pivot Table. Now it's going to pop up this dialog box. It's going to say, Joe, do you want to put this in an existing worksheet or a new one? I always recommend new worksheet. That's just an opinion of mine, because if you put it in an existing worksheet, it can skew the data, and we don't want that. So I'm going to click New Worksheet and click OK. And now here are our three tables. We don't really need to use the region or price table because, well, everything's in the fact table now, and there is a relationship between all those tables anyway. So now what I can do here is I can create a pivot table. Maybe I just want to see how many products we sold. Maybe I want to see what was the price of those products. And then I also want to see where we sold them. So what region? And there we go. The last thing I may want to do is just change these to a monetary value. So I'll go Home, General, and choose it to a currency. And I don't typically like using decimal places, but in this case, we do have some that do have decimal places. So this works perfectly. And if I ever want to see something, this is the best part about a pivot table. Let's say that I want to see, okay, doublers in the East. Who sold those? I could double click on this price, and it will create a report showing me all the sales reps for the doublers and then what the price and the discounts were. So we can pull a report just for doublers. And I love that. And then I can just simply rename the sheet Doublers. Doublers report. And I can do that with any of these. I'll just call this my pivot table. So if I want to see, wait a second, we made, on the VRANG, we sold a total of 5,000. Who made those sales? Double click on them. And there we go. We have all the VRANGs now. And then I can just rename that VRANG report. And that's it. We went from these three to a beautiful pivot table, which can tell us a lot of information. We can also add the sales rep if we wanted to right here. A lot of people don't like this because the sales rep and then the product all go into one. If you wanted to change the way this looks, for instance, we have two things, two rows, but they're all in one. What we can do is we can change the way it looks by going to the Design tab. And inside of the Design tab, we can change the report layout. Instead of it going into compact, which by default, pivot tables go to compact mode, I'm going to show an outline. And now you'll see we have Alan Ramos in one, the product in the second. And I can just keep adding things to this, like the date they sold. And there we go. So pretty cool. I really like this. You can change it. Maybe you just want to see, instead of it being just the date, you can remove the date. It could be just the month. Remove the month, remove the quarter, and then we can just do the year. And there we go. We have a beautiful report here. You can quickly see a lot of information. And we can change it if we wanted to. But with that said, this looks great. I think we did an amazing job of taking it from this to a pivot table. Once again, I love Power Pivot because you have to create those relationships. Otherwise, you could have done a V lookup or an X lookup on this, where I just simply pulled in, let's say, the price. Two ways to do the same thing. I could have pulled in the price. I could have then done an equals X lookup. The lookup value would have been, since we're looking at price in this products, we're going to select products. The lookup, where are we looking for it in this list of products? What do we want? We want the price, and then press enter. And then we could have done that with the regions as well. Region, we then could have done equals X lookup. The lookup value is, well, we're looking for the sales rep. Where are we looking for them in this list of sales reps? And what do we want to return? Well, the region. And there we go. We would have had the region. Then we would take this entire table here and insert a pivot table. But the only thing that doesn't really work well with this, even though this looks nice and we could get the same information like we have in the other one, see, this looks the same as this. The only difference is on this one, we can now, because we've created it off of a pivot table and power pivots, we can now go over to the power pivot. We can run KPIs. We can create new measures. And not only that, we can also use DAX expressions to get even further into this data set. So Power Pivot is way better than just doing that simple X lookup, because with the X lookup, you won't have access to all of that. This isn't in the Power Pivot. So I hope you really enjoyed this. Power Pivot is so powerful. It's one of the power apps. Power Pivot, Power Query, Power BI. So I do love it. And with that said, that's it. Thanks so much for being here.
Thank you, Joe. I know there was some camera issues there today, but according to the poll, 82% out of 23 votes said you must be the B next week.
You want me to be the B next week? Okay. I'll be the B again next week.
Yep. So the B wins. All right.
I love it. So I wanted to know also, if you really like Power Pivot, which is, like I said, it's an amazing tool. I'm thinking you might want to see, what would you want to see next? Let me know in the
Power
chat.
Query.
It could be anything. Power Query. Power Query, we could do we could do anything, honestly. We haven't done much lately. Let's do maybe some PowerPoint. We haven't done PowerPoint in a long time.
Yeah, we did Morph, I think, on PowerPoint a little bit recently.
Yeah, that was it. We did Morph. Well, let us know in the chat box what you want.
Yeah, let us know in the chat what you guys want to see. We always leave it up to you guys. We might choose the first thing that comes up or the first thing that catches our eye. So if you guys have all the power on what we cover, because we always cover whatever wins in the polls. So we can vary it up. Just some other more updates, just some more things. So on the channel this week is, oh man, I can't believe I can't remember what video is premiering. I'm pretty sure it is Word Advanced 2021. I'm pretty sure.
Ooh,
I'm 100% sure it is. Yes. It's Word 2021 Advanced. That's going to be on Friday, 9:30 as always. We should also have I think we have a live event this Friday as well. So I'll be in the chat there, guys, if you want to talk there. I can't remember the topic to save my life though. But I'll be in there, guys. It's actually Carly's last event with us.
I was going to say, isn't it?
Yeah. That's Carly's last full event with Learnit. She is becoming a yoga retreat expert, I think it is.
Yes, yeah. And she's going out of state too, which is great.
Out of country, I think, right?
Yeah. I think I forget where exactly.
Sue says PowerPoint sounds great. All right, PowerPoint it is, Sue. See, first person to say it. There we go. PowerPoint.
We can do some PowerPoint fun. We'll talk about, I think, PowerPoint psychology, and I'll give you great tips and tricks about PowerPoint. Also, besides PowerPoint, I was also thinking what we haven't really covered much in our shows is SharePoint. I can show you how to build a SharePoint website. If you all are interested in that, let me know.
Yeah, we can build a site, maybe go over a list or something like that.
Yeah.
We do have one question, Joe. Do you think you have just a few minutes? I know you're booked in a little bit here, but maybe
Oh
we can
yeah,
one
let's
more
take a
question.
look. Is it better to make a better method to use in the new column or to use measure calculations in the use of Power Pivot? So great question. When you're using a new column, it's typically when you're creating a DAX, pulling it into, for example, like I did today, I pulled more information into it. I could have also used some sort of sum function. With a measure, it's really nice because you're calculating an entire column, and then not only that, it's also um, you can also add like projections to it, right? So when you make a measure, you can say, okay, even though I know that the total of this column is going to be $100, let's pretend, I can then say, well, maybe what's going to happen in 2 months, and I can say, what happens if there's a zero point zero 0.01 increase, uh, or 1% increase in the total sales. Now, because I've used a measure for that calculation, I can just take the measure and multiply it by zero point zero 0.01 to get that projection. So that's why I really like using measures in Power Pivot, but I also don't mind sticking with just normal calculations or new column method. So it really depends on what you're looking for. Great question.
Great question. Great question. I have one more here from Trey. Can you show us how to link our Excel spreadsheets to PowerPoint presentation? Hey, we can probably do that in the
Yeah,
next show. We'll do that next week. We'll
yeah,
definitely cover
definitely,
that. Yep.
definitely.
There we go. Excel spreadsheets and PowerPoint. There we go. That's going to be the show next week, guys.
Sounds good. I'll show you how
Both
to do
Joe and
that. It'll be
I
fun.
have meetings. Actually, I know Joe has to teach a class. I have a meeting coming up here. Actually, it's a workshop I need to attend. So we're gonna wrap it up here real quick. But thank you everyone for joining us. You remember to please like, subscribe, comment down below. It helps us tremendously. Also, if you're a super fan, you can buy the Excel Today mug. That's a great way to support us. Also, the super thanks as well on any of our videos that you're enjoying. And yeah, thank you everyone for joining us. You really make we do the show for you guys. So thank you Bailey, thank you Dare, thank you Omri for the questions, and Sue for for showing up today. And we will see you guys next week.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.